The South is not a monolith. There are pockets of weirdness, awesomeness, and then there's Charleston, where for some time now, important things have been happening with food. A lot of them having to do with this guy.
I took a walk through this beautiful world, felt the cool rain on my shoulder, found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la,
What are we drinking? Beer? We bringing harder stuff? What's going on?
I usually go with a Budweiser and a Jägermeister.
Budweiser and a Jägermeister. So you're any notion of going local right out the window.
Yeah.
2 Jägers? Yeah, 2 Jägers. Yeah. Cheers. Good
Cheers,
to see you
man.
again, man.
The first one's never good. The first one is never good. But it gets easier after the first one.
So look, this is not my first time to Charleston, as you know. I did do a show here before, and I'm still taking shit about it. Apparently, I really f***ed up the first time I came here because I made a number of errors. Apparently, none more egregious than going out for like doing an oyster roast and drinking champagne.
I never heard of such a thing. Well, champagne of beers is okay with oysters.
See, that's what. It must have been a typo.
Maybe somebody got confused somewhere.
Yeah, anyway, I got it wrong. This time, I'm getting it right, which is why I've come to you.
You could be forgiven for underestimating Sean Brock first time you meet him. I know I did. I saw a scruffy-looking dude in a trucker cap who always seemed to have a bottle of really good bourbon on hand.
Stutzelweller, 1991, 18 years old. This is the end of great whiskey. It didn't come in this bottle. This is my travel bottle because it's plastic, you see, so it don't break when you get rowdy.
It took me a little time to discover the ferocious intellect, the inquiring nature, the uniquely focused and purposeful talent of the man. Without a doubt, one of America's most important chefs. A guy who's redefining what not just Southern cooking is, was, and can be, but American cooking as a whole.
We're going to talk a lot about this over the next week, about the notions of universal awesomeness. Is the Waffle House universally awesome?
We have one choice for late night eating, and it's the Waffle House. And they create this environment where no matter how blitzed you are or how normal you are welcome and treated equally with an experience. It's not just like, eating a plate of food.
You're talking about it like it's a magical spiritual place.
No, it's beyond a magical spiritual place.
It is indeed marvelous. An irony-free zone where everything is beautiful and nothing hurts. Where everybody, regardless of race, creed, color, or degree of inebriation, is welcomed. Its warm yellow glow, a beacon of hope and salvation, inviting the hungry, the lost, the seriously hammered all across the South to come inside. A place of safety and nourishment. It never closes. It is always, always faithful, always there for you.
Texas patty melt.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with this place because I wanted to be a chef.
The pecan waffle.
And this is the only place I'd ever been to where I actually watched people cook. This was action to me, because I would see these people cooking at a pace and cooking for people who were completely out of control, but still providing hospitality. It was one of the things that really helped me fall in love with cooking.
Waffle House.
Yes,
I can't believe I didn't know about this.
I am unbelievably, in spite of my world travels, new to the wonders of the Waffle House and unfamiliar with its ways. The terminology, for instance, is new to me.
Now look, I'm looking at my hash brown, and I am already confused and enticed.
Here's the thing,
Sausage
you
gravy.
can't go all in, because you want everything.
I need to make a choice.
So there's a balance. And then when you find your balance, you memorize it. I go scattered, covered, smothered chunks.
Which means I gather, scattered on the griddle, heaped with brown onions, cheese, and chunks of hickory smoked ham.
That's my style. Like, I've been doing that since day one. And I don't even know what that means.
You know what I know? I don't want waffles at the Waffle House.
Bullshit, man. You have to have,
Waffles?
okay, you have to have pecan waffle. Now, so what I've devised as a chef is a tasting menu experience where you can sit down and really experience what this place does. And you start out, first thing you have, pecan waffle.
Really?
Right, gentlemen.
Oh,
Oh, the pecan waffle. You just crush it. You put you
just slather it.
I want it to be swimming in syrup and homogenized vegetable oil.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
See, you don't come here expecting the French Laundry. You come here expecting something amazing.
This is better than the French Laundry, man.
And then, second course, patty melt, split. Patty melt. Come on. That's not insanely delicious.
Oh, God
Not
damn.
insanely delicious.
No meal is complete without a sunny side up egg.
Oh, yeah.
And then a green salad with some Thousand Island dressing would be amazing. Would you rather have thin cut pork chops or T-bone?
I would like both.
Heinz 57 is the best, man. One of the more complex sauces in the American repertoire.
Really?
You want to talk shit about it? This is sauce work. Trust me, this is gonna change your life.
No, that's wrong, man. Come on.
This was a brilliant human being who had a recipe. It was amazing. And he got a bad rap.
You're talking about like Ronald McDonald. He had a good idea. No, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Here's where we part ways, my friend. Here's my sauce.
After a few bites of waffle, a burger, a hunk of generic T-bone, and some hash browns, one feels drawn right to the center of what makes our country great. An America yeah moment that drives me to clamber up on the counter and start reciting Walt Whitman, the Star-Spangled Banner, Oh Say Can You See, and you know what? I doubt I'd be the first.
Oh my
Give me a
God.
break.
The umami happened.
Yes, yeah, give me a break.
You know what umami means in Japanese? Actually, the literal translation of umami?
Orgasm?
No. Umami means in Japanese, literally, it means I will suck your for a bite of that burger.
You bite the pork chop.
Everybody needs a place, a community, something larger than oneself to care about, to be part of. A place to hide when times get tough, where you're accepted for who you are, where the rhythms of a summer afternoon, the crack of a bat, the roar of the crowd are music. Behold the mighty Charleston Riverdogs, a minor league feeder team for the New York Yankees. Meet one of the owners of the Charleston Riverdogs, Charleston resident Bill Murray.
Just said I've had too many beers to drive. I'm gonna take shotgun.
We're gonna see how fast he can go all the way around the outfield.
Today, the Riverdogs are facing the evil forces of the dreaded Savannah Sand Gnats.
Yow! That's gonna score a run, and that's gonna leave a mark. He's gonna hold him.
Bad day for the Sand Gnats.
You're hated! You're hated!
We will crush you like a, well, Sand Gnat.
A sand gnat has almost no backbone, almost no skeletal structure. They fold.
As difficult as it might have been to forego the joys of the bacon-wrapped foot-long corn dog known as the pig on a stick, we knew we'd be coming here. Husk, Sean's restaurant in downtown Charleston, one of two that have helped make the city a fine dining destination.
So I want to know, Southern living, it's very different up there and down here. It's a big transition. Easy for you or not?
It's easy. The driving was the real transition because I drive like a New York person, and when you come here driving like New York, it takes you a while to recover. But I'm right on the edge here, like telling people that this is a really nice place to come, and really, I don't want anyone else to come. I like it the way it is. There's a lot of insects. It's really, really hot in the summer. And the traffic is worse than it ever was.
Husk directly addresses Southern culinary traditions using the best of modern techniques, but always respecting the originals and who made them.
It's a pressing matter to redefine Southern food. If I were a Southerner, I would make it a personal mission because it was distorted for so long. But as a Northerner, why should Northerners care?
Well, I think if you look at the history of food in America, there's no denying that Southern food was the first, true cuisine that had this foundation, and that's important to preserve. And to me, though, it kind of goes back to the idea of you should be cooking and preserving and celebrating the food of your grandmother.
People take a real pride in their ability to cook my aunt's recipe, my grandmother's recipe of this is how we made these. And the standard of food here is so high that when I go around any place, I just go, eh.
Country ham, bread and butter pickles, and of course, Sean being Sean, there will be bourbon.
I just like to start a meal with pickles and ham. I'll try not to geek out too much, but this is a very special breed of pig that came over here in the 1500s called awesomeness. The Spaniards brought it. It has a very particular flavor. And this one's aged 3 years.
It's ridiculously good. That's the best American ham I've ever had,
Oh,
far
thank
away.
you.
That is unbelievable.
These two things together, these are my two favorite things in the whole entire world. Stitzel-Weller whiskey and old country ham. So this is an old dish that I dug up in one of those old books that I study. It's an old-fashioned oyster pie.
Ooh.
So just grab your spoon and just dig all the way down. The oysters are in the bottom.
How old is this recipe?
It was well documented in the 19th century, pre-Civil War.
That's good. Yes.
Oh, God.
So Shrimp and grits is the dish of Charleston. I mean, it really is. It's the dish I crave when I leave Charleston and come back. This version is one of the older ones where we actually make hominy first by nixtamalizing the corn. So you'll taste the grits are a little bit different.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's really great looking.
And then we make a brown gravy, which is the most classic way, and on top, crispy pig ears.
You get grannies coming and saying, I haven't tasted this since I was a little kid.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Wow, that's good.
We were trying to replicate the emotion of that the Southern food provides you in a time where good ingredients weren't available. So we made up for tasteless ingredients by frying them or dumping butter on them.
Right.
Now we don't have to.
Wow, what's going on here? This is an onslaught of awesomeness here.
We didn't order this.
So Hoppin' John, so pit beans that have been cooking over the fire all day. These are the red peas that came from West Africa. This is the original Carolina gold rice, hand harvested with Benny. Grilled whiting, which is what nobody eats in Charleston. In restaurants, it's what everybody eats in homes, with some spring vegetables. And then this is a suckling pig. That's the same breed Ossaball as we had earlier with the ham, mixed with a mule foot, cooked on a spit, some cream corn and cornbread.
Wow.
So this is going to be my first mule foot.
But this is like my favorite way to eat, you know, just family style, pass stuff around.
Oh, yeah. The rice is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You see Bubba Gump. You get angry?
I get very angry.
For me, it's Chili's. Because you see Chili's along the Mexican border. It's like, what the? I'm sorry, do we have a shortage of Mexicans in this party? There's like a shortage of good food, and you're eating at Chili's? I really want to like pull up the car, get a tire iron, and walk in and just straighten some people out. You know?
Clean house, Roadhouse style.
Roadhouse, vastly underrated film.
You guys are both into Roadhouse?
Such a great film. It's easy. What else do you need to know? You can deconstruct this film forever. The more you watch it, the more mysteries unfold.
I've never seen anyone enjoy Roadhouse more than I do.
What?
My friend's wife, Kelly Lynch, plays the doctor that stitches up Heather Swayze in the movie.
Yes.
She's the romantic interest, right? The unattainable
Yes.
romantic interest. And I have, for the last, I don't know, probably about 25 years, called his home in the middle of the night and said, "You don't know me, but your wife's getting slammed up against the wall by Patrick Swayze. She's not putting up much of a fight." And then hang up.
It is in many ways a perfect film.
It's a whiskey talking.
What is down-home Southern cooking? Where did it come from? Who's responsible? Well, it's always useful when asking those kinds of questions, wherever you are, to ask first, who did the cooking back then, in the beginning? Where did they come from?
When you meet people here, you know that you're seeing a direct descendant of a slave that was here after the slaves were freed.
Ashley Green grew up on Mosquito Beach on James Island in Charleston. Her mother owns the property, which has been in her family for generations. Fact of the matter is, in the Old South, Back when the dishes, flavors, and ingredients of Southern cooking, which is to say American cooking as opposed to European, chances are that food was grown, gathered, produced, and prepared by African slaves. Chef B.J. Dennis has made it a personal mission to celebrate and protect the culinary traditions his ancestors passed down to him.
So this is some local blue crab, just fresh in season. This is a play on some garlic crabs, but this is shrimp butter instead of the garlic butter. And then you have that play of, the French influence into the cuisine right here.
The flavors and textures and foodways of West Africa are all over Southern cooking, and there are few better places to see how short the line between there and here than Gullah culture.
I'm really enjoying this, I gotta tell you.
This is so delicious.
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
How African is traditional Gullah cooking?
Well, I think what happens is you change the location of the people, but you did not change who the people were. You did not change the information that they came with their traditions.
If you look at the history of American food, you'll quickly see that this is one of the first true cuisines of America.
Oh, what's that? What is this? This looks good.
We going back to West Africa.
All right.
Soft-shell crabs and conch in a decidedly West African-inflected peanut stew with Carolina rice, sautéed squash, and zucchini.
Oh, that's so good.
Man, it's been a while since I had conch.
Clearly, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, there's a different kind of interest in Charleston than existed 20 years ago, right? Is something happening here, and is it a good, what's
Good and
changed?
bad. So, I mean, it's good to have people to have a more diverse community in a sense, but then you also lose a little bit.
The danger is they're coming to Charleston because of the beauty, and we're having to fight against, bigger entities that seek to get the land so that they can develop it. And so we're fighting to keep what's been ours. And so it's important for us to preserve this area, preserve this culture for generations to come.
According to the U.S. government, almost 50% of all the children in this country fail to get their recommended daily allowance of vitamin.
Fast food restaurants have discovered that we like our food heavily salted.
Just add water and 2 of your own fresh eggs.
Because of industry's innovations in farm chemicals and machinery. Taste it.
How did it happen that we ended up with Southern food being the most sort of cruelly hijacked into this cartoonish parody of itself?
Modern, clean, advanced, complete meat processing.
I think it's a combination of 2 massive cultural influences that came together at the same time. The idea of industrialization came late to the South. When it hit, we got pellagra. The first nutrition laws in America were written in South Carolina because everybody moved into mill villages and immediately started eating processed food because they weren't growing their food anymore. The second thing that happened is there was a massive amount of expertise that was lost during the Civil War.
A lot of the Southern revival, the whole turnaround, started with this guy, Glenn Roberts, a man who asked a simple question: how come grits aren't as good as they used to be? And by starting the heirloom grain company, Anson Mills decided to do something about it.
So why do this? Why do something as unwanted, meaning nobody was particularly crying after, we need rice that used to taste like it did in 1837. We need grits, better grits. What called to you that you felt compelled to answer?
I'm a cuisine whore. I think that culture is interactive with cuisine. As soon as you look at cuisine, you're looking at politics, you're looking at medicine, you're looking at the advanced thinking.
I'll agree with you that there's nothing more political than food.
You got it.
Chef Mike Lotta's restaurant Fig was one of the first and most important on the Charleston scene, determined to source the kind of local products that you used to find everywhere in the Low Country. As much as I'd like to illustrate that solid grounding in traditional ingredients and preparations with my order, I could not resist the soft-shell crabs, which are just in season, with a pasta and shaved botarga, which frankly, I'd slit my best friend's throat for.
Wow, that looks great.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Sweet. When you had your first forkful of proper rice, is there an instinct to go out and sort of bludgeon the rest of the world in it, understanding what you have just come to understand?
I did not run up and down the streets of Charleston. It was tough to dislodge people here. So I just went straight to San Francisco,
right,
and I gave away tons of product. And guess what? They went crazy.
Slow-baked black bass, Anson Mills farro, ramps in season, and lettuces. And this ode to all things Glenn is responsible for bringing back: heirloom rice and peas, suckling Ossabaw pig, and chicken confit with Carolina gold rice.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that great? This is phenomenal. These peas are killer.
I'm hitting the rice next.
That's got the entire history of Southern agriculture in it.
Right here.
Right there, in that little bowl. This whole idea of having a century in a dish, none of this stuff was here 20 years ago.
Near the end of the Civil War, during General Sherman's Scorched Earth campaign, seed stores were a favored target. It was largely African slaves who were able to save the seeds that Glenn is now able to locate and reintroduce.
It is those people who kept the corn. It is those people who kept the cowpeas. It's those people who kept the vegetables because they couldn't buy their way out of not doing it.
You know, when you talk about chitlins, pigfoot, hog maws, African Americans in the North do not embrace those poor people classics of the South. There's an overlay of pain and oppression that goes with it. How do we combat that?
What you're speaking about is walking away from your own culinary heritage because of social sensitivity. Bottom line is, if you want something that's compelling, that draws on your soul, this is why they call it soul food.
I need the finest in turkey-killing couture. I'm going to be ninja-like, and I want to look cool.
Well, you know, camouflage is the standard go out wear in South Carolina, so.
I'm bringing that look to New York.
A cool, clear morning, and I do what any sensible Charlestonian would do on a day like this: look for turkeys to kill.
So pants, need those.
All right. You know, in South Carolina, our state bird is the mosquito.
Right, so I want to be covered head to toe.
Next thing, we need to get your face covered up.
I'm going in a Waffle House wearing this. This is totally me.
We do have some turkey vest.
A turkey vest, yes. I've got to have it. This is your last day on Earth, Mr. Turkey. You will die now. Prepare to meet your maker.
Here's the thing about hunting. The likelihood of me successfully shooting even the stupidest animal on camera are about the same as Donald Trump being gracious to anybody or Adam Sandler making a good movie. Basically, a magical unicorn is going to land in front of me and shower me with candy and Vicodins before I shoot a freaking turkey on camera. That shot you heard was me shooting a producer in the calf and telling him to hobble over to the Piggly Wiggly for a frozen gobbler before he bleeds out. And like magic, behold, turkey. Slow, slow barbecue turkey with all the sides you want and need.
What do we got going on here, Chef?
Pig's feet and collard greens.
Oh,
Pickled
damn.
pig's feet and collard greens.
Oh, yes.
And then barbecue coleslaw, some potato salad with ramps, baked red peas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's my weakness right there.
And we made you some very special
mac and
bright
cheese.
orange mac and cheese.
I do love bright orange mac and cheese, as you know. And that's a turkey.
Yep.
Let that be a lesson to you.
like going to grandma's house.
Mike Lotta from Fig is here, and Jeff Allen, owner of Rebellion Farm.
So at this point, how many others are there like you guys, like who are basically keeping it real as far as real Southern culinary traditions as opposed to sort of the jokey ones?
I feel like just about everybody here is.
More than you would think.
Well, how many people is that?
12.
Yeah, in a town like this, that's pretty amazing.
God damn, this is good. Pig's feet and green, it's just ridiculously good.
This is really moist for a wild turkey.
Like people who say they don't like turkey need to eat this.
So what's your impression of Charleston?
It's it's one of those weird or distinctly American mutations, kind of like rock and roll or jazz or blues.
That's what makes Charleston so cool, though. There's really nothing else like it in America. And it's been unique since the early part of the 18th century. And the city works hard to preserve that. We have an incredibly gorgeous city that people want to visit, so we have the advantage of tourism.
The clientele definitely gives us the opportunity to be this progressive or
They almost
relevant.
push us to be more than we can even be.
We have an active cuisine. I mean, we've recovered all these, ingredients and rediscovered a lot of the agricultural influences that were destroyed in the 20th century. But we're not just recreating history. We're not going back and cooking the Civil War. These guys are pushing the food forward here, and we're creating a new cuisine.
It's got to be a happy day when you take it to Caesar off the menu forever.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna get some more of that mac and cheese in a minute.
Hell yeah.
We're one of the last few hunters in the world. There's no store for us to go offshore to go and pick those fish up. We have to look for them. We have to go and sort of find the ones we're allowed to harvest. We are the last of the final frontier of hunters, to go in and to feed the world. And that's what we do.
Mark Marhefka has been a fisherman since the 70s. He takes an unusual and much-needed approach to catching fish. Instead of raking the sea of the same overfished, mindlessly popular species, he passionately promotes the just as good and usually better, less known and underutilized stuff.
But one of the great things about the Lowcountry is the flavor of our waterways, and that wasn't being represented properly in all the restaurants. Then all of a sudden, I hear about this guy who has the most beautiful fish you've ever seen, but you got to go to the dock and get it.
Frustrated by the conventional wisdom, by the mishandling of fish by other distributors, and the narrow range available on the market, he became his own dealer, starting Abundance Seafood, one of the country's first CSFs, or community-supported fisheries. He's changed the way people think about so-called trash fish.
Look at how beautiful that is.
Today's catch, triggerfish.
Any market for these things?
Oh, my God.
Yeah?
Well,
We can't go and keep it in-house enough.
No, really?
The crazy thing is, it's like, even 5 years ago, there wasn't a single one of these on the menu. Before we all knew Mark, everyone had the same crap on the menu as tuna, salmon, grouper, snapper, which is delicious stuff, but as we all know, we've overfished that. And Mark really taught all of us the beauty of stuff like this.
Nice.
This is a half-shell style, so you just leave the scale on, the skin on,
Right.
and just cook it one side up. Oh.
It's sort of basting itself.
Yeah. Makes like a cup. It's very Creole.
Is there something out there that you're seeing that's still a hard sell that you wish people would
One of the
jump?
hardest sells is amberjack.
Amberjack, for sure.
Amberjack.
The Japanese love it.
Yeah.
Amberjack. Ooh, look at that. That is pretty. Smells good.
Wow. Yum.
Oh, man.
I could eat that 365 days.
Charcoal and fish.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
That's so
I know.
good.
Damn, that's good.
Wow. Everybody thinks there's all this great barbecue in the South. It's 99% terrible barbecue. And so to get real barbecue, you gotta drive.
way out in the weeds, off the main road, and good freaking luck if you can find it, is one of the most respected barbecue joints in the US of A. Run by one of the most respected old-school pitmasters. Ask a chef. Ask anybody who knows good barbecue, and they will tell you where to go. Here, a rundown-looking takeout about 2 hours drive out of Charleston in Hemingway, South Carolina.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
Since I was 11. Grew up doing this.
Crazy.
My family started in 1972, so I grew up running around this place.
It's hard.
It is.
That's why no one does it, man. That's why there's nothing but bad barbecue. Because, in my opinion, the only true way to make barbecue is the burn barrel and pits, and you gotta stay up all night.
All night.
Rodney Scott, a man sought after all over the world for some of the finest whole hog barbecue there is. Rodney and his family have been doing it like this and only like this for 43 years. Burn barrel, fresh coals, slow cooked all night in the pit. There are no shortcuts. This ain't a craft, this is a calling.
Look at that.
Yes.
Oh, man.
You gotta have a little bit of white bread with it.
Yeah,
at least
no
a little
doubt.
bit of white.
Yeah, see, this is what everybody always gets wrong in New York. They serve cornbread with barbecue, which of course falls into crumbles. You can't. You gotta have that.
Look at that. This is what we call pork spaghetti.
Gotta have some of that.
Man, that sauce is nice too. It's perfect, right?
Vinegar and pepper.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's my dad's recipe.
Do you do not the standard South Carolina mustard dressing at all? I'm sure people are going to be pissed at me about this because people feel strongly about these things, but I was not liking that mustard thing.
Around here, you scream mustard, they'll think it's going on a hot dog. It's the only thing they know about mustard here.
Oh, good. Oh, man, that's just so good. Now, how many hours about that pig is cooking?
12 hours.
About 12.
You have to love it. You have to be head over heels in love with it to do that every day. I mean, you ever get sick of eating barbecue?
No, not yet. Not yet.
So we're all gonna be rolling out of here with the Rodney Scott cologne on.
What are we fishing for here?
Well, out here we've got spot-tailed bass, flounder, sea trout.
Really?
Yeah.
Woohoo, watch out there. I got you.
Yeah, and the way you fish here, the idea is just throw it out as far as you can, and then you just leave it.
Oh, just leave it.
Yep, that's the cool thing about fishing out here.
Oh, good. So I don't have to be working. There's not so much skill involved. So how am I doing in the learning to be a redneck department? Not wearing shoes.
You're looking good right now without shoes on and a fishing pole in your hand. On the dock, that's pretty awesome. It's a different pace here, man. You know, this is the way to live.
I do enjoy it. Love that Waffle House, man. I need a Waffle House. I'm trying to tell you, that was like a... I like your restaurant and all. I guess you're some kind of good chef, but that Waffle House,
Man, I'm telling
that
you.
is a phenomenon.
It really is. It's good with boiled peanuts with whiskey.
Oh, yeah? That's good. Oh,
So
that is
good,
nice.
man. It's so good. How's visit to Charleston?
Oh, it's been great. This is a special place. It really is.
Well, it's very unique. It's been a lot of fun to watch the food scene here go from kind of what everybody else is doing and was doing to doing something very singular, very special.
And when you got a tradition and when you have tradition and recipes and a story behind food like you have here, That's a really cool thing.
Well, the thing is I'm still discovering stuff here. I've been here 12 years.
Oh, that barbecue that Rodney gave us was sick, man.
He is a force to be reckoned with, man. Like, you know, you talk about Europe, everybody travels hours to go to El Bulli or travels hours by car to go to Michel Bras. It's the same thing here. We just do it for barbecue. Got a hit?
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah.
You did. It bit right below the hook.
Yeah. So that's an intelligent mother fish too. Big and intelligent.
So just hook up under the bottom lip.
Ouch. Oh. Open. What? Open up, mother. Whoa, he's up my legs. Because that's anal-seeking bait. Where do you think you're going, buddy? It's like one of those vampire. It's like one of those anal-seeking those fish in the Amazon that swim up your caul. Yeah, nice try, buddy.
It's quiet on the river this morning. Ain't nobody on the water but me. But the sun's coming on and it won't be long, but there's a little more weight coming in this creek. Up the line out in the water.
Who doesn't want to end with this? The old fishing hole. Quality bourbon, no need for shoes.
I think the crabs are down there just having a minnow buffet.
In such circumstances, whether you actually catch any fish is completely beside the point.
Oh, man, not bad for a Yankee.
Good, man. Better than my last cast.
Making noise with the alligator boys, 20 miles east of Goshen.
So let's get rolling. Oh my God.
One hurts.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
What if we just skip Dino's and go to Edgefield and then go to Roberts?
I say Dino's.
I mean, I'm not trying to screw you.
The only thing is Edgefield closes at midnight.
You gotta see. Have you been to Roberts?
Dino's definitely
I've been
starter, and that's it.
Saw the hotel in it. Do I know?
Hold on, time out. Stop. You've never hung in Nashville?
No.
You're gonna have a fun time. It's good.
I have no doubt.
Nashville. If you haven't been there, you probably know it as what? A country music capital, Grand Ole Opry, and it is Music City. And there is indeed plenty of country music, both genuine and fake-ass. But it's way more than that. Nashville is one of the fastest-growing metropolitan areas in all America. People who grew up here will tell you the city is in a state of perpetual, never-ending change, and the rate at which things are changing is accelerating. 80 to 100 new faces move to Nashville every single day. Some things are constants, others in flux. Even with all the radical cultural shifts, the city still remains traditionally Southern in its sensibility. For now, anyway. Because Nashville could just as soon be called Punk City or Rock City. And you were just as likely to find the word artisanal hanging over the door of a sandwich shop or a cupcake shop or a slow drip coffee laptop zone as anywhere in the land of man buns in the cities of the North. So, of course, the chefs are coming. carpetbaggers seeking their fortunes attracted by a more affordable business environment, or just looking for a better quality of life. Sons and daughters of the South looking to honor the traditions they grew up with, but with a more modern sensibility. Here's 4 chefs who helped change things, who were instrumental in starting something truly new and innovative, but what, because of their efforts and their mentoring, their early examples, is becoming more and more accepted practice. Tyler Brown of Capitol Grill in South Hall. Tandy Wilson of City House. Our old friend Sean Brock of Husk, Nashville. And the distinguished Pat Martin of Martin's Barbecue Joint. Sundays are often spent here at Pat's house, friends, family, kicking back and drinking beer and cooking over the fire pits. All these chefs pride themselves on celebrating local, seasonal, southern ingredients and close relationships with farmers and food producers from the area. Those are 90-day aged ribeyes from nearby Bear Creek Farm slowly cooking there. And they're going to be topped off with oyster mushrooms and bourbon soy and some nice runny eggs and garlic. Grits, well, of course. These are called greasy beans, pressure canned in salt water, then heated up with pork fat, so I'm not hating that for sure. There's also homemade ricotta served with a cold smoked sausage and roasted acorn squash.
You better get it, Fred, because if you don't, you're screwed, man. I'll say everybody gets an egg. Everybody cool with that?
Oh, hell yeah. So it's a must.
Doesn't really matter what I'm eating if I'm eating outdoors.
They like to
Really?
I love eating outdoors.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. Here's how we're talking. Thank you. So who started in the restaurant hospitality business in Nashville first? You started...
October of 06.
06.
We started in 2003.
03. What was it like in 03? What did people want to eat in Nashville in 03?
Holy cow.
Wow.
Steak and potatoes?
Steakhouse, man. That's all it was. Those are the only places to eat.
Which came first, the customer or the chef in this case? I mean,
Chef.
The
hands
chef,
down.
Chef showed up first.
how open to new shit
That's the thing about
were people in
is
Nashville? Always,
People,
from the beginning?
yeah.
Because it's artistic. People are very progressive.
It's such a creative.
It doesn't mean they know what they're tasting, or at that time they knew what they were tasting, but they wanted it.
Who's here? Who's from here originally?
I am.
That's it.
I think so.
So they were all carpetbaggers at this table.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Some of that.
You hear that? Really? Nashville's Lower Broadway or Music Row. It's what Nashville's selling. It's what the tourists want. And the honky-tonks or McHonky-tonks that line the strip now tend to lean more towards cover bands than singer-songwriters. On one hand, it employs a hell of a lot of musicians, which is a good thing. On the other hand, stray from Lower Broadway and you're bound to stumble upon a genuine dive bar. And Nashville's got some real good ones. So, what is this place?
Dino's? Yeah. It's a burger joint that's been here for a long time. A lot of country music history is in here. A lot of Nashville history is in here. It's a fun place where you see a lot of new East Nashville life. Order up.
I can't tell you how many burgers I've had near that I don't remember.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him on my phone. Oh, I had a burger at Dino's.
Yeah.
What is this?
They call these hot fries, so it's like the flavor of hot chicken, but with fries and Velveeta.
Wow.
I think it's Velveeta. Yep.
It's like country poutine.
Exactly, man. This is like redneck poutine.
That's tough.
Tony, what's cool about there's these dive bars here is there's so many studio musicians here. If you're not a badass musician in this town, you're not gonna make it. So everywhere you go, you're hearing the most incredible players you've ever seen anywhere in the world.
What music rules here still? I mean, is country music still?
Well, they've effed up country music so bad on Music Row, it's not even funny.
It's not country music. To me, it's not.
It's bullshit. But there's also so much more than country, you know.
Oh, man, that's the thing people don't realize about Nashville is it's not just country music.
If you're looking for iconic Nashville, what's bone deep, local, even deeper than the dive bar culture, you would be talking about a thing called Meat and Three. Meat and Three is a cafeteria-type institution offering for a set price a choice of meat and 3 sides.
I've been thinking about this all day since the minute I woke up. Oh, hell yeah.
It's the real deal.
Danger's in downtown Nashville is just such an institution. Doors open at 10 a.m. and close at 2 p.m. With a rotating selection of a dozen lunch staples, you're pretty sure to find what you came for.
Okra or black-eyed peas? What do you think? Which should I do?
Okra.
Okra, okay.
This gentleman, too, is something of an institution. Jesse Boyce, a 2-time Grammy Award nominee, instrumentalist, songwriter, producer, and CEO of Sovereign Music Group in Nashville.
This is a big Nashville tradition, a Meat and Three.
Absolutely. You see a little bit of everybody in here, from truck drivers to mothers to lawyers, whomever. You can see it's multicultural. Everybody just like really comfortable with each other, like a microcosm of what Nashville is really like.
I mean, most people, I think, who haven't been in Nashville, outside looking in, they see Nashville, they think country music.
Exactly.
But it's really not that at all. I mean, yes, it is. We've got a hell of a lot of country music here.
But we had 2 strands of music that were emerging at the same time, historically. 50s and 60s, we had hee-haw and Night Train.
All aboard, the Night Train now boarding, and you have the best in the house, so let's get rolling with great entertainment.
Night Train was the black TV show that had all the major R&B artists on and the local artists on, the same as we had with hee-haw and all the country artists. And then you had Jefferson Street. Jefferson Street is where all the black artists came to play. People like Jimi Hendrix, Little Richard, B.B. King, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles. All of these people played in Nashville on Jefferson Street. We had blacks and whites coming into the inner city. We didn't have Broadway. We had Jefferson Street. Back in the day, it was the place to go.
The Jefferson Street district no longer resembles its neon-lit heyday. Like a lot of historic neighborhoods in Nashville, it's being slowly eaten by developers to make way for the shiny and the new, to accommodate all the new arrivals.
It was over before it even began.
But what's left is a pretty amazing musical legacy, and one that's often overlooked or sometimes simply forgotten. Everybody's moving to Nashville. This car, affectionately referred to as the Black Shark, did in 2012. Along with its 8 cylinders of Detroit-made awesomeness came Alison Mosshart, singer-songwriter for the London-based band The Kills, which he formed over 15 years ago with Jamie Hintz, and more recently, locally based The Dead Weather.
Straight to a red light. Boom.
She needed someplace to park her car, she says, and Nashville seemed right.
I lived in London forever riding the bus. I really wanted to get a muscle car, and I needed a garage to put it in. There's no way I can be unhappy in this car.
Completely understand the relationship.
This is a custom-made Dodge Challenger. If it hits you at speed, it will mess you up real bad.
I love this car. I'm having car envy.
This is Nashville hot chicken. If you order it in its hottest iteration, it too will mess you up, as I came to find out. Hot chicken recipes are notoriously kept secret, but preparation always begins with the poultry getting double dredged and deep fried for a thick, crispy crust. Then each piece is given a wet or dry application for that sought-after caustic kick. With the wet, the chef's mix of hot spices comes in an oil-based sauce or paste that the chicken is dipped in or coated with. Other cooks use the dry method, coating the chicken with a blistering blend of cayenne, sugar, paprika, and other secret spices that form a fiery outer layer. If you come here to the very fine Boltons for your hot chicken or their optional hot fish, it can, in its milder forms, which are still scorchingly hot, be delicious. But try the hot stuff and watch out. No, really, watch out.
How long have you been in Nashville?
4 years, maybe. No, I was working here all the time. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. Lots of people I knew were moving here. Lots of bands. Lots of rock and roll was coming to town.
Yeah, a real lot.
You know, when I was touring when I was a teenager, this is a place you would avoid. If you were in a punk band, don't come play Nashville. No one will come to your show. That sort of seemed to change like 10 years ago. Or suddenly, I was like, people are showing up.
Right. All right.
From left to right, hot, medium, mild. And then the fish, spicy, if that's non-spicy on that side.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't even order, so you guys go for it.
Oh, you're gonna have to try some.
Matthew Mosshart, Allison's brother, is a professional chef who moved here in 2013 to start a catering business.
We should have gloves on. Oh, man.
The medium is really hot. That's really hot. And it just keeps coming.
You're already diving into the coleslaw at a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Are you done?
Yeah, this isn't good. That was...
Which one did you get?
I think medium, mild, whatever it is.
I know that I don't have a hot one, but this is hot anyway. I'm trying to bond with you guys.
All right, I'm going in. Do not resuscitate.
Oh, man. I don't want this.
Oh, that hurts. I think I'm hallucinating. Oh.
That's putting you in a head spin.
Oh my God, you guys.
It's like a sharp burning, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming. It's not going away. Oh.
You got nothing on yours? Was it like a
I'm
medium?
good over here. I'm real good.
And you're good to
This
go?
is great.
A little bit of mustard?
There appears to be a little bit of mustard on here, yes.
Okay.
How bad could it be? I just experienced like 12-hour payback from hot chicken.
Right.
I mean, and this was an existentially awful experience that I really, there were moments when I didn't think I was gonna make it. This has gotta be so much better than that, and it's only 3 minutes.
Only 3 minutes. I'll take it.
Do you serve snacks in there? My friend Dean Fertitta plays guitar and keyboards for Queens of the Stone Age. He also plays with the Dead Weather with Allison, who you just met. A Nashville resident too, he trains in Krav Maga, a lethal martial art at the same gym where I trained jiu-jitsu when in town. These things hurt. They punish the body. They make a person sore. Fortunately, I had a knuckle-headed idea and a place to do it. Cryotherapy, the latest in muscle recovery treatments. So far, so good.
No. No. This is a terrible restaurant, Tony.
Basically, you step inside a big tube into which liquid nitrogen is pumped, chilling things down to a less than comfortable minus 300 degrees.
Oh, God.
You apparently convince your body that it's dying on the permafrost, causing it to kick loose all sorts of emergency, life-saving, anti-inflammatory proteins. After which, you are supposed to feel better. If your fingers and penis don't shatter like Hummel figurines.
You did it. Whoa. Watch your head.
Took it off.
Well, how you feel?
Good luck. I'm dying. In a good way, though.
All right. So step right in.
No, not ready. Step in.
I don't like the way he looks. He looks unhappy. All right.
Sorry. Did you notice how like the last 40, 50 seconds were the coldest?
Yeah.
Pretty much this whole session is going to be like that last 40, 50 seconds.
Oh,
the whole
great.
session, because you're going second.
Oh, yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're already at negative 306.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's not good.
You can do it. Oh. You feeling all right?
No, it's good. It's bad. Oh, I gotta let her rub some hot chicken all over my body.
They're 10 seconds in.
No, don't tell me that.
You see, he's already at negative 308. So you didn't hit negative 306 and 308 for the last minute.
Look how long have I got?
You're not even halfway there.
I'm not even halfway there. Oh.
I'm trying to be helpful, but I can't even talk right now.
Yeah.
So
How are we doing for time?
You're almost done.
Yeah, what's almost mean?
10 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, 10 seconds. You got it.
Wow. This was on level 2.
done.
There's still a third level.
Level 2.
Yeah. There's still one more level up.
What's the longest you can go in it?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah, we always suggest. Watch your head, sir.
Well, I always wondered what it was like to have a micro penis. Oh, I feel a little crispy. That was kind of awesome. Freshly invigorated by our Sub-Zero experience with newfound appetites to go with our newfound cryogenically induced superpowers, Dean and I head over to City House, Tandy Wilson's place, for some pizza.
So would you say that what you've seen here is what you were expecting to find?
I like it here. It's a friendly town.
And it's friendly.
Yeah.
I know, I remember when we first came down here, we'd go to the gas station, people would say hello, and we would be like,
Yeah.
you know.
That takes some getting used to.
What is that?
Yeah. I'm assuming she's half kidding, but Allison said it's all about the car. She needed someplace to park the car.
Why she moved here?
Yeah.
I totally believe
You don't doubt that. She does love that car.
Right.
I mean, as much as I talk about, I would never buy a muscle car because once I start, it's like I would never be satisfied. I would, you know, I mean, you don't want to be like Jay Leno with like 30 muscle cars. You know, let's face it, if you own 30 classic muscle cars, there comes a point where people are going to look at you and say, you know, sorry about your penis. You know, there's something else going on here. Music is a $10 billion a year economy around here, employing more people than anywhere else in the country. Its producers, its session artists, even the studios themselves are legendary. If you can make it as a working musician in Nashville, where there's anything but a shortage and standards high, you can pretty much make it anywhere.
Lightning 100, this is Jason Moon. In the studio with us today, Nashville artist Margo Price. Fader Magazine has called her Nashville's favorite new badass. We agree. She's here to play a couple of new songs for us.
Thanks for having me. 1, 2, 3.
Margo Price grew up on her family's farm in Buffalo Prairie, Illinois. Her family was forced to sell when she was age 2, which is pretty damn country already, if you ask me. As a country music traditionalist, she struggled for years to find her place within Nashville's increasingly pop-driven country scene and the growing indie rock one. In 2010, she lost one of her twin sons to a rare heart condition, self-medicated with alcohol, and ended up with every kind of problem, including problems of the legal kind. She poured her heart and every cent she had, recording an album in just 3 days at the legendary Sun Studios in Memphis, selling her car and her wedding ring along the way.
Dogs that howl on dead-end roads, they remind me where I am, and all the sins I gave away, well, I got them back again. The pain has made me wise, no wasted tears to cry. So many things you never said, but you told me with your eyes.
The album Midwest Farmer's Daughter was rejected 30 times by the major labels until she found herself on the radar of Jack White and his brilliant and eccentric enterprise, Third Man Records. Third Man's impact on the Nashville music scene can't be understated. With an eclectic, unpredictable list of artists, reissues, and obsessions, they've tilted the town's axis a bit, making Nashville the center not just of country music, but also what? Of course, White has also produced albums for country music legends like Loretta Lynn, so if anything, they are reliably unreliable when predicting what they might do next.
Let's get ready for a full take. Can you get everyone
Right now, what comes next is Margot Price, who's recording today at Third Man's live music venue, the Blue Room. The recording, a unique one-of-a-kind operation because it's all going directly to acetate. Before digital and before analog tape was used for mastering, disc recording was done live. No editing, no overdubs. Redirecting this process on this 1953 lathe, Third Man has mastered a number of albums like this, giving listeners as close to a live experience as possible. Also, it's kind of cool.
Here at Third Man in the Blue Room, it's the only place in the world where you can actually do a live to acetate recording.
That album that was rejected 30 times debuted on Billboard's top country chart at number 10 in its opening week and was this year's #1 country album in the UK. Margot's promotional tour includes performances on Saturday Night Live, Conan, Colbert, and the Grand Ole Opry itself. But before heading out on the road, the band and friends gather one last time at Margot's East Nashville home. Her husband and bass player in the band, Jeremy, prepares biscuits with pimento and cheese, topped with chopped bacon, along with red wine braised short rib on a crostini with goat cheese.
All right. Yeah.
I know, it was there,
Do you guys eat like this all the time?
He cooks like this all the time. He's worked in like every restaurant in town. Yeah, we've all been in the restaurant business. You. He just got fired from a job over on the west side. Sorry.
Way to go for him.
First of all, let me ask, who here is from Nashville originally?
Exactly, she is.
This has been pretty much the story of my experience here so far. You know, the town has a reputation. There were so many really good musicians here. Does that make it harder to break out here? And alternately, what happens if you suck here? Like, I mean, if you're playing country western, and you're not good at your instrument, can you make a living here and suck?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, not to say like there's tons of bands that suck or something here, but when I came here, I wasn't good enough, and I went out to some like writers' rounds, and I learned very quickly that I had to be a better player, I had to be a better singer, I had to be a better writer, and like. So you work hard because you're surrounded by that. It's like you're typically playing to like a whole room of, pickers and writers, and so it's like how many Nashville musicians does it take to change a light bulb? 1 to do it, and 20 to stand around and say, I can do that.
I put hurting on the bottle. Baby, now I'm fine enough to see. Been drinking whiskey like it's water. That don't touch, pain to put on me.
There seems to be a sense like a lot of established bands have always come here for something metaphysical. I mean, they say it's, well, I want to work with particular session musicians, or I want to record at a particular studio.
Yes.
But that's really kind of a metaphysical decision. Does that particular mixing board actually possess magical powers
Yeah,
that will make your record better.
I kind of feel like there's something special about a room. You go into RCA Studio B where all the Elvis singles were cut, all the Orbison singles were cut, Everly Brothers. There's something special about that room. Yeah, I mean, you joke around about like the thing about, oh, there's something special on the board. Sometimes there is.
I put hurting on the bottle. Baby, now I'm blind enough to see. Been drinking whiskey like it's water. That don't touch the pain you put on me.
Sign of the apocalypse or an age of enlightenment? You decide. The craft cocktail program has arrived, and it's spreading fast. Josh Habiger's cocktail bar, Patterson House, and its upstairs 20-seat counter-only restaurant, Catbird Seat, has been catering to the sophisticated palates of Nashvillians since 2011. Josh rolled in from Chicago, a self-trained mixologist, as they call makers of drinks these days, and professional chef. He's got 5 acclaimed restaurants across the city.
Cheers. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
So, do places like this represent that the town has changed, or do they change the town?
When we opened this, I was amazed by the support that we got from people. People didn't want to hate us, they wanted to like it here.
Really? I mean, in New York, particularly if you come from out of town, we kind of want to hate you. I mean, we're not the cold-hearted town that people portray us to be, but especially if you're hot shit somewhere else, you're going to have a real steep climb in New York. We are kind of hoping you're going to fail, and if we can help you, we will. It's not like that here, from what I understand. Carpetbagging interlopers are welcome here in a way that they are not in a lot of places. Whether it's music or restaurants or art, come here and do creative shit.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. It's a lot of fun.
A little crumble of sea salt. Let me know when it's ready.
The idea of this place was to cook the way that a bartender bartends. You're looking the person in the eye and handing them the plate of food. There's no hiding. If they love it, then you see that. If they don't love it, then
Plan B.
Yeah.
So menu changes every night?
At the whim of Polly right now.
Chef Ryan Poley is the new kid in town, fresh from Chicago. A veteran of Mercadito, Hospitality's Tavernita, Little Market Brasserie, and Barcito.
All right, the first serving we have, this is risotto, but instead of using rice, we use sunflower seed. We treat it like a normal risotto. We add Parmesan cheese and a little bit of butter. We topped it with a little bit of fermented sunchokes, the base of the sunflower plant, and just garnished it with the little green sunflower sprouts. So we use 3 different cooking techniques of 1 ingredient to make this dish. Enjoy.
Beautiful. Well, insanely delicious. Nothing about that description sounded particularly interesting to me. They're delicious.
This next course is a play on a very traditional Italian dish, linguine, chili flakes, sea urchin, or crab meat. This is our version. We just use Japanese ingredients. So we made a wakame seaweed bucatini. We used yuzu koshu to represent the chili flakes, a little bit citrusy, a little bit spicy. And then we took scallops and dried and smoked them and grated it over the top. There we go. Enjoy.
Oh.
Thank you.
Man, you were talking my language here. That's obscenely good. I would faceplant at a big This would be good. Remember when Tony Soprano would come home? Like, he'd come home after a night of whoring and killing people, and he'd go home and he'd open the refrigerator, and there'd be like a Tupperware container, and there'd be like some cold leftover ziti that Carmela had made him, like, maybe the night before, maybe 2 nights ago, but the fact is it was there. As completely awesome as this is, I would wake up and eat this cold, like in a Tupperware container the next morning. I would totally eat this. It's completely awesome.
It's a great compliment. There's a couple cookies in here for you. One's a macaroon, chocolate, and raspberry. So thank you. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy.
I like rooting around in Gene Simmons' brain. Yeah, I do not approve of your right-wing politics. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Why?
Welcome to Disgraceland, Allison's Nashville home. It's a house party, so there's gotta be food.
You just do a small series there where you weren't looking.
You don't have to look when you cut, right?
No.
We can look at each other.
Yeah. Watch.
Ready?
Okay.
And as one must at any reputable house party, live entertainment. Dean Fertitta, Jack Lawrence, Mr. Jack White, and Allison Mossart, known, I believe, as the Dead Weather.
I never know how to treat you. You say I love you, but it ain't true. I'm walking away now. Hey, what's that forward and back to? I let you back by the head. I hug you up from the heavens.
In the galley, Matthew and I slave over celeriac apple and walnut salad, fried pork dumplings, pulled pork with red cabbage, and deviled eggs, because it ain't a party without deviled eggs, and brisket.
Hang you up from the heavens.
In another part of the house, free party favors for everyone. Permanent ones. Choose your tattoo carefully, my drunken friends. Choose well.
Oh, you spelled Donald Trump wrong.
Also on the bill, the kills. A tooth tattoo in some cultures means, actually I have no idea what it means until Allison says she chose it because she liked it and it's for biting.
We're in.
I, on the other hand, gave this scorpion careful consideration after a less carefully considered number of tequilas.
That looks amazing, the ends, but
It's sinister.
I like
Which
it.
is just
Totally sinister.
Nothing's a color across the desert, nothing's allowed. What does the blacktop know that I have not cracked with my mind? Nothing's a color, gray hairs appeal, nobody cries.
I'm pretty proud of that. That came out pretty good.
Thank you. Nothing to like, I feel love. I feel love. Once in a while, I feel love.
I'm still so drunk.
A drink will help.
Man, good party.
It was like the greatest. As I was driving here, I just couldn't stop smiling. Just remembering like the things I can remember, which is not all of it, but there's a timeline. Seriously, I have bite marks. I have
No
cigarette burns.
way.
No, I do. I found.
Who bit
that's
you?
A cigarette. That's a bite mark. What's that? Also,
That's a bruise.
What's that? There's a timeline here, people. Let's work it out. I feel so complete. And I was gonna wear that today, but I failed.
That guy was wearing a tutu. So I guess it could be worse this morning. I mean, I could.
Wow, what's that? Ooh, yeah!
Apparently, we took some casualties at last night's house party. But for every throbbing skull, every unremembered blunt force trauma, there is a cure. A Bloody Mary, a mimosa, or both, should you prefer. Pinewood Social, our friend Josh's place, where natural allies, alcohol, hangovers, and bowling coexist peacefully in an atmosphere of mutual respect. Also food.
Tony, how many times do you eat a day? No, because when I watch that show, I think about it. I'm like, wow, you've had like 7 meals and it's only 1 o'clock.
Who's up?
You're up first.
I'm up? Okay.
Yeah.
Going well. Not a promising beginning.
It can only get better.
I don't think he's American.
If there's any hustler, it would be LJ. You know, unassuming guy who just happens to show up after being missing for a little while.
Right. I can see that.
That might have been the quickest gutter of the day. Over the line.
Yes! I'm getting into character.
In a safer world, all of us here would be prohibited from hurling heavy objects in any direction, given our sorry states and our general ineptness at this sport of kings. But that's Nashville for you. A welcoming place, a forgiving one. I feel right at home.
When I first came here, the streets are paved with gold, and you can walk that road. I've been told, but I won't put out. Be controlled, I don't rap the shit that gets bought and sold. Ask any man, he might know. He used to live on the Music Road. But that was then, and this is now. And he told me this town gets around. From what I found, this town gets around.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
Los Angeles. Maybe the most filmed, most televised, most looked at place on Earth. It's the landscape of our collective dreams. But what if we look at LA from the point of view of the largely unphotographed? The 47% of Angelenos who don't show up so much on idiot sitcoms and superhero films. The people doing much, if not most, of the hard work of getting things done in this town. One in 10 Angelenos are undocumented. 1 in 10. Think about that number for a while. That's who's here now. Contemplate, if you will, what would happen if anywhere near 10% of the workforce were no longer here, particularly since they're rather overrepresented in those fields that most of us are in no hurry to enter. Los Angeles, like much of California, used to be part of Mexico. Now, Mexico, or a whole lot of Mexicans, are a vital part of us. Raul Hinojosa Ojeda is a professor of Chicano studies at UCLA. Gishback on Washington Boulevard serves specialties from the city of Tlacolula de Matamoros in Oaxaca, Mexico.
So, bro, you know about Tlacolula, right? I mean, this is
the market, isn't it?
Tlacolula is this village, okay, in the middle of a valley. The oldest valley where agriculture was invented in the world. These people who live here lived there for about 10,000 years. So there's archaeological evidence of the seeds actually being manipulated.
All the way back then.
All the way back then. And that's where the core of the moles that we're gonna eat tonight are from.
Mole negro, or black mole, is an incredibly old and sophisticated, near-magical substance containing over 30 different ingredients. It's an old sauce from an old culture, used as either a base to build a stew or as a sauce to be poured over meat. But unlike most sauces, the point of mole is the mole itself. The flavor is unique, roasted, sweet, bitter, and spicy, all at the same time, and deep, very, very deep. Maria Ramos is the owner and chef, the third generation of a family of barbacoa specialists. Barbacoa being the barbecuing of lamb and goat until it's falling apart perfect. She started out cooking at age 10 at the Sunday market in Tlacolula.
This family goes back a number of generations to that area, yes?
Exactly. And they got here because they were migrant workers in the fields of LA. And that's where they started working in the restaurant.
This show will air long after the election. There is actually a national conversation now, unthinkable in my lifetime, where the notion of rounding up however many millions of undocumented workers in this country all at once or in short order, and then kicking them all out. I mean, it seems unthinkable. But I mean, you know, they said that in Europe in the 30s.
Right, right. No, I think just from a military logistical point of view, there's no way you're going to move the people out of California and out of Los Angeles. I mean, they tried that in 1954 Operation Wetback, mostly from the fields, moving 1 million people out, right?
And they did.
Yes.
And what happened?
Well, first of all, a huge amount of U.S. citizens were picked up one day and never came home, and families were torn apart. And then the most ironic thing about it, and the most tragic thing, is that in the next couple of years they said, oh, you know what, we have to open the borders again to bring them all back, right? Mm-hmm. The problem was we never stopped wanting the workers. California is the #1 agricultural state, and approximately about 70% of the labor force is undocumented.
Stuff would rot in the fields, just to start with.
Right.
Because
#1, who would grow it and bring it here?
Picking it, packing it, to a great extent processing it, cooking it,
serving it, cleaning up after you.
it.
I mean, there would not only be no restaurant business, there would be the worst economic crisis in the history of California and the United States.
Esteban Oriol is a respected and highly sought-after photographer and director known for his street portraits. He started his career as a nightclub bouncer, pivoting nicely to tour manager for Cypress Hill and House of Pain, taking beautiful photographs along the way. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's famous for capturing perfectly both the glamour and grit of his hometown, Los Angeles. Mr. Cartoon is a very famous tattoo artist and designer. Cartoon began airbrushing t-shirts and lowriders before adopting and excelling at the legendary fine line style tattoo art. His work is sought after by the biggest names in the music industry, and well, anyone who loves truly superb skin art. La Reina on East 7th is a late-night thing down the street from where Cartoon and Esteban used to live. Run by Abigail and her team, the place serves molitas. Not quite a taco, not a quesadilla, more of a taco sandwich. First the tortilla on the grill, then marinated meat, cheese, then another tortilla, flip and serve. La Reina is located in the downtown Arts District, but it's right across the bridge from Boyle Heights, a working-class, densely packed neighborhood of about 100,000 residents. Nearly 95% are Mexican or Central American. How Mexican is LA? I mean, how deep does it go?
Mexico, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the names, all the people, I mean, and you can go into certain parts in East LA, in the harbor area, Hollywood area, and see nothing but Latinos. A lot of other areas in LA, they're mixed, you know? But on this side where we're at, you go over that bridge, it's pretty much all Mexican people. And LA's mixed with Salvadorian, Guatemalan people, Central America too, so they just get called Mexicans anyways. You know, like we're Chicanos, so, you know, we know we're from here, you know, we were born here on this side of the line. Our family relatives are from Mexico, and we're proud of that, and we celebrated our style.
Look, we live in unbelievable times right now. People are talking about, you know, mass deportations of Mexicans. What's the problem here? Where does this fear and loathing come from?
It's just racism is still alive and kicking in America, you know? We really don't hear it from the people we're around artistic, laid-back people, you know?
Some idiot said, you know, we got to do something about this situation. All these Mexicans come over, we're going to have a taco truck on every corner. And I'm thinking, is this a bad thing?
Where would all these food trucks be, you know? There was only taco trucks.
It's a prototype for
10 years ago.
Yeah.
There wasn't an Asian fusion truck here, this kind of truck, an Indian food truck, this truck, you know.
Taco truck? I mean, we opened the door.
You kicked the door down, yeah.
White America loves Mexican food. I mean, probably more than any other food at this point. You know, they don't look. They sure like cheap Mexican labor because they can't live without it.
Right.
Why are they so freaked out about Mexicans? You know, nobody's talking about building a wall, you know, across the Canadian border.
Who's gonna help them build the wall? You gotta have some Mexican power to do that.
That's exactly what I thought.
I was at a taco truck in Eagle Rock. That's one I go to. And I just overheard the guy's conversation. He was finishing up his order. And the guy goes, "So bro, my mom told me not to eat the cilantro if it's from Mexico, because they're shitting in it to get back at Trump." And I said, "Well, don't get me wrong, I'm all for a good Trump takedown, but I'm not sure if they've got that level of organization going on in the Mexican cilantro field." All right, everyone gather round. Let's all start brainstorming. No idea is a bad idea. Yes, Crazy Eddie. Okay. This a little outside the box. But I say we shit in the fucking cilantro.
Thank you very much, everybody. How Mexican is Mexican? How Mexican can you be, or should you be, if you grew up in California with a Mexican name and of Mexican heritage? Al Madrigal is a comedian. Gustavo Arellano is the editor of OC Weekly. We discuss such weighty matters over taquitos at Cielito Lindo on Elvera Street, which has been serving the kind of stuff that made Americans fall in love with Mexican food since the 1930s. Beans with machaca, spicy shredded beef, sauce, and cheese. I believe they call these things a burrito. But what they're known for here is their taquitos. Rolled up, fried, smothered in avocado sauce, jacked with chiliguero, garlic, tomatillo, and cilantro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I'm loving the sauce already.
Oh, this is legendary sauce. Going back to 1934. Guacamole, you don't think it's gonna work, but it absolutely does.
Wow. Didn't do that bad.
Good little spice at the end. I love it.
You, by your own admission, you're sort of a sorry excuse for a Mexican. You don't have any Spanish, not so good.
Spanish is horrible. Yeah, I've always been given a hard time about my Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. Every Mexican in history has always given shit to another Mexican about their Spanish. You don't know this lingo. You don't know this pronunciation. But yeah, you should know Spanish better.
Well, that's what I learned. This has been an age-old thing where everyone's trying to out-Chicano each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't feel that bad about it.
Right, what's the expression for a bad Chicano?
Pocho.
Pocho. What, is there a literal translation there?
Rotting. So if you say pocho, you're basically saying you're a rotting Mexican. You are completely fake. You've lost all your culture, therefore you should be hated.
That's harsh.
I know.
When you hear, like, rounding up Mexicans left and right, setting them off all up to camps and then putting them across the border, scary, angry?
I actually think it's good. I think Latinos need this to rally together to, it's like the world needs aliens to land to all actually come together.
Is there anybody who could rally all Mexicans? You know,
like a spokesperson, yeah.
No, like a Mexican Reagan.
The last big leader was Cesar Chavez, and that was, God, what, 25 years ago at this point. I mean, you have to have almost a messianic figure.
I have the answer.
Who?
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. People love him.
Danny Trejo would be the man. He'd be that's the
Machete.
guy. I'd vote for him.
Machete for president?
I would totally vote for him. He looks good with his shirt off. Donald Trump can't say that. Bill Clinton could say that. Danny Trejo's still peeling that shirt off.
He's the baddest dude in the history of badass. Look up badass in the dictionary. It says Trejo. Danny Trejo. Born in Echo Park in LA, he spent much of his early life in and out of prison, including a stay in San Quentin, where he managed to straighten shit out, join a 12-step program, and rethink his life. He came out of the joint as a drug counselor. This led directly, if unexpectedly, to a storied career in film. Danny Trejo is known and loved for iconic tough guy roles in such films as heat.
There's cops all over me, man. They're on me like a cheap suit.
From dusk till dawn.
Get out!
And once upon a time in Mexico. But he finally rose to the action hero leading man status he always deserved, playing Machete.
This is the boss.
A character who grew out of a fake trailer from the Robert Rodriguez Quentin Tarantino film Grindhouse, which soon became its own awesome and gore-heavy franchise. If you haven't seen Machete, its follow-up Machete Kills, or soon-to-be-released Machete in Space, it's like missing the Citizen Kane of violent, family-friendly fun. Trejo's Cantina on Cahuenga Boulevard. Because, of course. Grand opening is still a few days away, but I thought, since I'm in town, I'd help advise Danny on the new menu, give him the benefit of my tasting notes. And I gotta be honest, I was thinking, how good could it be? Can Machete run a good restaurant? And why? So we're gonna see Trejo's Tacos all across America at some point?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Taco truck on every corner.
This is delicious.
Awesome.
On the menu tonight, Jadori chicken with chipotle cream sauce, some charred branzino with summer squash and sauteed poblano peppers, and crispy pork tacos with black garlic mole and some fat sacks of uni. And lots of healthy greens.
Why healthy? I mean, we have such an obese problem in the United States, especially Latinos. So we had to find a way to make it tasty but healthy. Healthy food can taste good.
Clean, healthier, lighter, locally sourced versions of Mexican street classics are not exactly what I'd expected. And I sure as shit ain't making no rude cracks about vegan tacos. Not to this man. Though to be fair, Danny Trejo is like the nicest guy in the world. Here's something I discovered that completely shocked and surprised me. So I have to ask you, are you a Morrissey fan by any chance?
Morrissey?
Like from this band, The Smiths. Apparently, it's like a British rock band of the late 80s that is apparently hugely popular in the Chicano community. So you have not been touched by this,
I'm gonna tell you something right now between me and you. I listen to no music that came after the 1968. I'm like an oldies guy, you know what I mean?
So, I don't know, your parents were born in Texas.
Yeah.
But can you trace you people back to one area of Mexico?
Monterrey. My grandmother and grandfather were born in Monterrey.
Did you speak Spanish at home?
Yeah, yeah, I spoke Spanish till I was about 9, 10, and then, you know, usually you stop speaking Spanish when you go to grammar school, especially in the 50s, because they wouldn't let you. No, you don't speak Spanish, you know, so you kind of forget.
Right.
So then, but then when you start going to juvenile hall and jail, you pick it up again so the guards won't know what you're talking about.
Did you get a 12-step in where you were still in prison or after?
Well, I was in prison. That was 1968. Cinco de Mayo, 1968. That was where I just kind of like made a vow. I'm done. Yeah.
When you get out, you became a drug counselor.
I dedicated my life to helping other people. Everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. Everything.
Well, for example, you were called to a film set to counsel somebody.
Yeah.
And you bump into, of all the people in the world, Edward Bunker.
Eddie Bunker.
The sort of legendary ex-con turned writer and I guess screenwriter as well.
I knew Eddie in prison. You see, and so when he saw me, what are you doing here? I said, I'm working with this kid. And then he asked me, are you still boxing? Because I held the lightweight and welterweight champion of every joint I was in. I said, I'm training, I still train, but I don't get hit in the face anymore. And he said, we need somebody to train one of the actors how to box.
The movie was the awesome Runaway Train. Trejo trained and fought against the actor Eric Roberts, who along with Jon Voight earned Academy Award nominations for the film. For Danny, it was the start of a long and glorious career. He never looked back.
I'll never forget Andrei Konchalovsky, the director, Russian aristocrat, right? He says, you fight Eric in movie. You be my friend. Now, if you come out of the penitentiary and somebody says, you be my friend, it's kind of a red flag.
Right. And then how many films since then? A whole hell of a lot.
They got to be at about 320 or something, you know.
You moved from there to serious bad guys to now action hero franchise. How do you stay nice in a business basically full of assholes?
Eddie Bunker, the first time when I started getting like a little recognition, he told me something. He said, try to remember that the whole world can think you're a movie star, but you can't. And I watch movie stars, right? I hate them. Nobody likes them. And if you're like on a movie set and the movie star comes in, and then after he leaves, this is how everybody that guy's an ass. I hate that guy. I mean, he's rude. So I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One of the things I learned actually making television really early on, if like you show up to like shoot, and the people like with the cameras and the crew say, "Oh, the talent is on set." What they really mean is the asshole is on set. You know, if somebody calls me the talent or refers to me as a talent, it's like time to go back and take a long look in the mirror, right? You know? From LA, but from time to time, you'll find them here. And when you do, you best play nice. Gilbert Melendez, Nick Diaz, and Nate Diaz, 3 of the greatest mixed martial artists to ever fight in an octagon. Gilbert holds the distinction of being one of the few MMA fighters to be ranked #1 in the world in 2 weight classes. Nate and his older brother Nick are both vicious strikers and grapplers, and about as tough as it gets in a professional setting or on the street. Neither particularly likes to fight, they say, but should the situation call for it, well, let's put it this way, they will. Nick and Nate grew up in Stockton and still live there and train there. Conor McGregor mocked Nate for teaching kids jiu-jitsu in his hometown. That was before Nate chased him around the octagon like a little deer in his last close decision. In one of the greatest fights in UFC history, Nate Diaz shocked the world when on very short notice, he stepped in and submitted McGregor in 2 rounds.
Nate Diaz!
He lost the second bout by decision, but there will surely be a third. And no matter what happens, Nate Diaz always brings it. Mariscos Gente on South Centinela. What do you eat growing up? Like, in your house, when you were little kids, what kind of food were you eating? What's lunch?
Macaroni and cheese and hot dogs.
Hot dogs, right? yeah. That was like basically like top ramen. Yeah.
Hot dogs, mac and cheese.
Some ghetto juice.
What about you?
You know, rice and beans and some sort of Mexican. There's some sort of protein with it and everything. You know.
Right.
I'm not vegetarian, but I learned a lot from them though.
I was like pretty much vegan for years, really.
Even as a kid?
Like I stopped eating land animals. Period. Like I've been vegetarian. I've been eating seafood on and off. But I've been vegetarian since I was like 18 years old. I just would do better cutting weight when I would just go on like a vegetarian diet.
Right.
I end up, nice and light, and then I get stronger. And then once he started fighting pro too, I think he kind of started doing the same type of thing.
When you eat in LA, you're going out for food. Well, you're going out for Asian, you're going out for pad thai, you're going out for
Good food's pretty convenient around here, of course.
I go to Venice Beach. I go to Cafe Gratitude. And that's a really good place.
What do you eat there?
It's like vegan, vegetarian, all the way.
I get off the plane, I go right to In-N-Out Burger. And the last thing I do while I'm in town is I stop at In-N-Out Burger. That stuff is like crack for me, I gotta have it. Oh, it's so good.
Mariscos Gente serves shrimp. Lots and lots of shrimp. The house special, camarones borrachos, or drunken shrimp, sautéed in butter and garlic over high heat. Add cilantro and crushed peppers and finish with tequila.
So when was your first fight, like in school? Like what grade? What?
First.
First grade?
Kidding.
No.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, our first fight, right? One time I was in 6th grade, and I went down to the baseball field, waiting for foul balls, because when you catch a foul ball, you get free soda or a bag of chips or something. And I caught the ball, and one of the baseball players was mad because a littler kid was trying to rap and get it. So, what's up? Why don't you let him get the ball? I was like, shut up. I've been waiting all day for this ball. You know what I'm saying? I was a little kid. He was trying to get in a fight with me. And I'm with these guys, and they're all hardcore, and I'm in my head like, man, why they gonna make me fight this guy? Because we're in my head, right? I'm like, man, they making me fight this guy. And we're like going at it, and I've never been punched in my face so many times in my life. I was just a little
You
kid.
just swing kind of wide back.
I know, heart. Yeah. Why you make me fight? That's the main. Why you make me fight this guy?
Street tacos are a not guilty at all pleasure for me, something of an obsession. They always make me happy. But Mexican food has been redefining itself in significant ways for years, here and in Mexico. Across the city, young, extremely talented chefs are taking Mexican traditions to the next level and beyond. Maybe the most exciting new frontier of modern cooking. Chef Ray Garcia, a native Angelino, is one of those pioneers. Located in the heart of downtown is Broken Spanish, a higher-end, higher-priced Mexican restaurant than most are accustomed to. Chef Eddie Ruiz and Robin Chopra are childhood friends who opened the wonderful but short-lived Alta California gastropub, Corazon y Miel, which put them both on the map in LA's burgeoning modern Mexican dining scene.
I absolutely believe that the next big thing is a reevaluation of Mexican flavors and ingredients and a reevaluation of how much you should pay. I mean, people love it, but their expectation is Mexican food should be cheap. And the fact is, there's always going to be new arrivals from Mexico who are perfectly willing to sell you, unfortunately or fortunately, really good Mexican food for very cheap, but not the kind of deep flavors that, you know, you find, or I found in my travels there.
Well, sometimes in the Mexican world, the only thing that's passed down, it's not a home, it's not a necklace. What it is a recipe passed down from generation to generation. It all comes from these rustic dishes that our grandmothers and grandpas cooked for us.
Do you have any responsibility to preserve and protect the traditional flavors and ingredients of Mexico, or not?
Yeah, of course. Everything that you see here in front of you is inspired by something that we had as a child. But how do we present that with our training, and how do we present that with our experience that's gonna give people value to want to pay more for it?
I think that Los Angeles is kind of the stage for that next level, and Chef Ray's doing a really good job of that. He's presenting stuff like this, and that's what's gonna elevate people's mindset in terms of what you can do with this food.
Chicharron, skin-on pork, cured and salted, cooked sous vide for 36 hours, then deep-fried and served with elephant garlic mojo and radish sprouts. Tamales, a slow-cooked lamb neck with oyster mushrooms and queso Oaxaca. Camote, an Okinawan sweet potato filled with pork, the ears, tails, and snout, topped with a drizzle of piloncillo syrup.
I got one more present for you guys here. Little pre-dessert. Eddie, I know it's your favorite, Eddie.
It's my favorite.
We have the foie gras rebanada here. So it's sort of like a pre-dessert. It's my take on a very traditional and simple Mexican pan dulce. It's just like a brioche with butter and sugar is the basic pan dulce. So this one we have foie gras in our butter. We kind of up the ante a little bit. And then some piloncillo.
Sweet, thank you. Man, I am loving this meal.
Thank you.
Big time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is the most nostalgic dish I've ever had at a restaurant in Los Angeles. In Mexican panaderias, this is called a rebanada.
Wow.
Nothing says my childhood like this dish right here.
I've worked in French and Italian restaurants my whole career.
Right.
But, I mean, really, if I think about it, they were Mexican restaurants and Ecuadorian restaurants because the majority of the cooks and the people working with me were from those countries. That's who, you know, picked me up when I fell down, who showed me what to do when I walked in and didn't know anything and nobody knew my name.
It's just the way our culture is. We're so family-oriented that that's what matters to us. At the same time, I feel like our job as chefs is to bring in our unique Latin American experience to dining. Family, tradition, food, culture. And LA is the heart of that right now. It really is. And hopefully that resonates throughout the rest of the country.
Gang violence has been part of LA's story for the better part of a century now. Also part of the story, police corruption and brutality. Former police officer Alex Salazar was a bad cop. By his own admission, very bad. Like a lot of once good police, the streets changed him. He saw a lot of ugliness, the lines became blurred, the job ground him down, and he crossed the line, repeatedly.
To quote Nietzsche, those who chase monsters need to be careful that they don't become monsters. I thought I was going to arrest the bad guys. I never thought I would become a bad guy myself.
Did you become a bad guy?
Oh, I did, yes.
How bad?
I became very aggressive, beating people, losing control, and using excessive force when there really wasn't any need for me to do that. I mean, I worked the most infamous police station ever known. It was called Rampart. Won Best Picture for Denzel Washington for his portrayal of this really bad police officer.
I'm the police. I run shit here. You just live here.
Was that an understatement? Were there cops that bad?
Yes, there were. Yes, there were. I was one of them. The problem was very systemic. We don't have so much that problem anymore. It does happen.
Is it not the nature of the job when you're asked to every day go in and look at people at their most desperate and ugly that you become desensitized and maybe even turn into a monster?
Just think about it. Every day they're looking at the worst of society, and maybe they have a partner that gets killed or shot. It's all very overwhelming. Many turn to alcohol and drugs to medicate. And I'm not trying to be an apologist for the police because, you know, they do need to be held accountable. But, you know, we need to help them. We really do, because they are out there and they're the ones that are gonna show up at your home.
Mexican-American, living in East LA and a victim of a crime. You calling the police, expecting a sympathetic response? I mean, generally speaking, what do you think
I think most police officers show up being ready to help out. They certainly have to do their job, take a report.
What do you think the victim thinks when they place a phone call? Do you think they have high hopes that I believe my call is going to be handled with the same fervor as somebody calling from Beverly Hills?
While there are good officers that come in and they do help, there's also many who lose that empathetic feeling of looking at someone with brown skin or very dark skin, and they say, well, you know, why am I helping out this person? There's a stupid Mexican. And I saw that being projected upon these people who all they wanted was help.
Sol Garcia grew up in Boyle Heights and is no stranger to the challenges facing the Latino community. The Boyle Heights Running Club started as a safety in numbers project. The small group of community members started running the bridges of Boyle Heights, making their presence known, and simply by being there, by being a presence, taking their streets back from the gangs and the criminals, who too often are the default company in a one-company neighborhood. Tacos Indiana Street Cart on 4th and Clarence Street.
What are you guys having?
I'm gonna do asada.
You're gonna do asada?
Frequented by Elisa and fellow running club member Rolly Cruz. Carne asada, the slow-grilled marinated beef classic served as a burrito with rice and beans, or simply on a tortilla as a taco.
Gracias.
Tacos lengua, beef tongue braised with garlic and onions. And tacos al pastor, stacked guajillo chili rubbed pork shoulder slices with your choice of toppings.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cheap yet supremely satisfying street taco trucks like this one have served the Latino community of Boyle Heights for years. But the neighborhood is changing. Let's say it's diversifying.
Well, first come the coffee shops, a couple of smart, hip restaurants. Hipsters arrive, rents go up. How do you stop that?
Well, that, which you explained in a nutshell, is what has been going on throughout Los Angeles. The gentrification of downtown, it's spreading here. And in a neighborhood like this, gentrification, not to be dramatic, but the population of families that are homeless is growing. Little by little, the block is disappearing, whether it's deportation, whether it's gentrification. You know, it's barely now coming to the forefront, but for the people that live and work here every day, it's been a reality. There's a lot of struggles here that if you're gonna be a part of this community, you have to recognize that struggle.
I think that the reality is, though, LA is always changing, right? So we are in the battle of LA, and who's gonna win in this is yet to be determined, but the fight is still gonna go on.
There has been, since the beginning, a tradition of Mexican rock and roll with its own unique sound. Richie Valens, Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, Cannibal and the Headhunters, Los Cruzados, and Question Mark and the Mysterians. It should come as no surprise that rockabilly is enjoying a resurgence of sorts in the Chicano community. There is a long and glorious tradition of Chicano rock, garage, and punk boiling away under and over the surface for years and egregiously overlooked. But what is it with the Morrissey thing? What is it about Morrissey? The Irish singer via England who sang melancholic, pathos-filled ballads that were a backdrop for a million post-breakups during the 80s, that so speaks to the Chicano soul. I asked musicians and concert promoters Oscar Arguello and Albert Gamboa. Oscar thrives in the rockabilly world, while Albert is all things punk.
What's up with the Morrissey thing? Apparently, in the Chicano community, Morrissey is
It's a matter of the heart.
Huge.
It's a matter of the heart, man.
Why, of all the bands in the world, did Morrissey and the Smiths resonate in this community?
It was a convergence of music and people that did not connect to what was being said. He connected with his lyrics. And I think everything was going so pop and so mainstream, and he was the alternative to that. And I think there is a lyrical element to his words that resonated with the Latino community.
And people said that his lyrics, his songs resonated with traditional mariachi in that sense. Right. The songs are so much about finding something beautiful or even funny about getting relentlessly fucked over and having shit go wrong.
I think Morrissey really speaks, it's so odd. He's this white guy about displacement and this longing for a mythic home. Because when I go to Mexico, I'm like a sore thumb there. You know, my Spanish is horrible, the way I dress, the way I talk, but there's just something about it. Like, Morrissey really articulates that experience. He himself, he's an immigrant. He is Irish. You know, he feels displaced.
Irish blood, English heart, it's amazing.
This is the thing about being a Mexican in the States. You're never white enough for this country, and you're never brown enough for Mexico.
It is a big issue about that, pocho and all that. But I know that we are Californians, inherently. And I am Los Angeles.
I've been dreaming